The grocery store shelves are empty. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. You walk through the aisles and see nothing but bare metal racks where food used to be. Your family is at home waiting. Your children are hungry. And you realize in that cold, terrifying moment that you waited too long. This is not some distant nightmare or conspiracy theory. This is the reality that millions of people have already faced during recent crises, and it is coming again. Supply chains are fragile. Economic systems are breaking. Inflation is crushing families. And when the next wave hits, when stores go empty overnight, most people will panic. But you will not be one of them. Because today, right now, you are going to learn about the 6 foods that can keep you and your family alive for 30 days when everything else fails. These are not luxury items. These are not complicated recipes. These are simple, affordable, shelf-stable foods that have sustained human survival for thousands of years. And if you act now, if you prepare today, you will have the security and peace of mind that comes from knowing your family will not go hungry no matter what happens to the world outside your door. Number 1, oats. Most people think of oats as breakfast food, something you eat with milk and sugar on a leisurely morning. This comfortable thinking will get you killed during crisis. Oats are not breakfast luxury. Oats are complete survival nutrition packed into one of the most affordable, versatile, and long-lasting foods on Earth. For thousands of years, oats sustained entire civilizations through brutal winters, devastating wars, and economic collapse. Scottish Highlanders survived in harsh mountain conditions on oats and little else. Scandinavian communities endured dark, frozen winters when nothing else would grow because they had oats stored away. Roman armies considered oats barbarian food, yet those barbarians outlasted the empire. Oats are survivor food, and understanding their power could save your family's life. The nutritional profile of oats is genuinely remarkable. Unlike rice, which provides primarily carbohydrates, oats deliver complete nutrition in every serving. You get complex carbohydrates for sustained energy release, not the quick spike and crash of simple sugars. You get protein, approximately 13 grams per cup of dry oats, which helps preserve muscle mass during crisis. You get soluble fiber that keeps your digestive system functioning when stress and diet changes cause serious problems. You get iron for blood health and oxygen transport. You get magnesium for muscle and nerve function. You get B vitamins for energy, metabolism, and mental clarity. You get minerals like phosphorus, zinc, and manganese. This is not empty calories. This is comprehensive nutrition that keeps your body and mind functioning at the level you need to make critical decisions, perform physical labor, and protect your family. The satiety factor of oats is survival critical. Because oats contain soluble fiber, they absorb water and expand in your stomach, creating lasting fullness that rice and beans alone cannot provide. When you are rationing food and trying to make limited supplies stretch as far as possible, feeling full matters enormously. Hunger is not just physical discomfort. Hunger destroys focus, triggers anxiety and depression, causes irritability and family conflict, and leads to poor decision-making. Oats combat hunger more effectively than almost any other grain because that fiber slows digestion and provides hours of satiety from a single bowl. This means you can eat less total food while feeling satisfied, making your entire stockpile last longer. The versatility of oats gives you survival options other grains cannot match. You can cook oats into porridge with just water and heat. You can eat them cold by soaking overnight, requiring zero fuel. You can even eat them raw in absolute emergency when cooking is impossible, though they are harder to digest uncooked. Oats mix with honey for sweetness, with salt for savory dishes, with beans for complete protein, with dried fruit if available, or completely plain when nothing else exists. You can grind oats into flour for baking bread or flat cakes. You can stretch soups and stews by adding oats as thickener. This adaptability means oats never become monotonous because you can prepare them differently each day, maintaining morale through variety. The historical proof of oats as survival food is overwhelming. During the Great Depression, families survived on oats when they could afford nothing else. During World War II rationing, oats sustained communities when wheat and meat were scarce. In modern famine zones, international aid organizations distribute oats because they provide maximum nutrition for minimal cost and transport weight. There are documented cases throughout history of people surviving months on primarily oats, with minimal supplementation because oats contain nearly everything the human body needs. This is not theoretical survival science. This is proven fact, backed by countless lives saved across centuries. The shelf life of oats rivals rice and beans when stored correctly. Rolled oats in sealed containers with oxygen absorbers last 25 to 30 years in cool, dry conditions. Steel-cut oats last even longer because they are less processed. Even instant oats, though more processed, still last 15 to 20 years properly stored. This means the money you invest today protects your family for decades. You are not buying food that expires in a year or two. You are building a food fortress that survives longer than most relationships, careers, or economic systems. The digestive health component of oats becomes critical during crisis. Stress, diet changes, limited water, and lack of fresh produce cause severe constipation and digestive problems that can become medical emergencies when healthcare is unavailable. The soluble fiber in oats prevents this by maintaining bowel regularity and supporting beneficial gut bacteria. This might sound unimportant until you or a family member experiences severe digestive blockage with no access to medical help. Suddenly, the humble oat becomes life-saving medicine. Oats also support mental health and cognitive function through steady blood sugar and B vitamin content. During crisis, when you need clear thinking to assess threats, make strategic decisions, ration supplies, and maintain family safety, brain fog and confusion can be fatal. The complex carbohydrates in oats provide steady glucose to your brain without spikes and crashes. The B vitamins support neurotransmitter production and cognitive processing. This keeps you sharp, focused, and capable when mental performance matters most. Calculate your family's oat needs carefully. Each person requires approximately 1 cup of dry oats per day for substantial nutrition. Though this can be reduced if oats are supplementing rice and beans rather than serving as primary food, for a family of 4 over 30 days, you need approximately 30 pounds of oats minimum. Right now, you can buy a 25-pound bag of quality rolled oats for $15 to $25. For less than $50, you secure a month of complete nutrition for your entire family. But oats disappear during panic buying just as fast as rice and beans because knowledgeable preppers understand their value. Do not wait for that panic. Buy oats today in bulk quantities. Choose rolled oats or steel-cut oats for longest shelf life and best nutrition. Store them in food-grade buckets with tight sealing lids and oxygen absorbers. Keep them cool, dry, and dark. Label containers clearly with contents and storage date. And most importantly, practice preparing oats in various ways now before crisis hits. Learn what your family enjoys. Experiment with different preparations. Master cooking them with minimal fuel and water. Because when stores are empty and your family is depending on you, you will not have time to learn. You will need to feed them confidently, nutritiously, and efficiently. Oats give you that power. They're affordable today, nutritionally complete always, and potentially life-saving tomorrow when everything else has failed. Secure your oats now and build the complete survival nutrition system your family deserves. Number 2, honey. Imagine opening a jar of food that is 3,000 years old and eating it safely. This is not science fiction. Archaeologists discovered sealed jars of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs, and that honey was still perfectly edible after 3 millennia. Honey does not spoil ever. This single fact makes honey one of the most remarkable survival foods nature has ever created. But honey is far more than just immortal sweetness. It is concentrated energy, powerful medicine, immune system support, and psychological comfort, all contained in one golden substance. When you understand what honey can do during crisis, you realize it is not optional, it is essential. The energy density of honey is extraordinary. 1 tablespoon contains 64 calories of pure, immediately available fuel. Unlike complex carbohydrates that take time to digest, honey contains simple sugars that your body absorbs within minutes. When you are exhausted from physical labor, stressed beyond limits, or recovering from illness, honey provides instant energy that gets you moving again. During crisis situations, when you might be working harder than ever to secure your home, gather resources, chop wood, carry water, or defend your property, your body burns calories at an accelerated rate. Honey replenishes that energy faster than almost any other food. This is why athletes use honey for quick energy and why you need it for survival endurance. The medicinal properties of honey have been documented for thousands of years across every culture on Earth. Honey is antibacterial, antifungal, and antimicrobial. It kills bacteria on contact, which makes it invaluable for treating wounds when modern antibiotics are unavailable. During World War I, before antibiotics existed, medics used honey to treat soldiers' wounds and prevent deadly infections. This was not folk medicine. This was battlefield necessity that saved countless lives. You can apply honey directly to cuts, burns, scrapes, and abrasions. It creates a protective barrier, fights infection, reduces inflammation, and actually speeds healing. When the pharmacy is closed, when hospitals are overwhelmed, when you have no access to modern medical care, honey becomes your emergency room. Honey also treats internal problems that can become dangerous during crisis. It soothes sore throats and suppresses coughs as effectively as over-the-counter cough syrup. Studies have proven this repeatedly. When you or your children develop respiratory infections during crisis, honey provides relief and helps you rest, which is essential for recovery. Honey supports immune function through its antioxidants and antimicrobial compounds. A strong immune system during crisis, when stress is high and nutrition might be limited, is the difference between fighting off illness and becoming dangerously sick. And unlike pharmaceutical medicines that expire and lose potency, honey remains fully effective forever. The psychological value of honey during prolonged crisis cannot be overstated. Sweetness is comfort, sweetness is reward. Sweetness is a tiny moment of pleasure in the darkness of difficult times. Children especially respond to sweetness, and keeping children calm and hopeful during crisis protects the entire family's mental health. A spoonful of honey in tea spread on bread, or mixed into oatmeal transforms a survival meal into something that feels almost normal. This matters more than most people realize. Depression, anxiety, and hopelessness are silent killers during crisis. They destroy motivation, break apart families, and lead people to give up even when physical survival is possible. Small comforts like honey maintain morale, preserve hope, and keep families unified and fighting to survive. Honey also improves the palatability of other survival foods. Rice and oats become significantly more enjoyable with honey. Bitter teas become drinkable. Even beans can be sweetened in certain cultural dishes. This versatility means a small amount of honey dramatically expands your meal options and prevents the food monotony that destroys appetite and morale. And because honey never spoils, you never worry about expiration dates, rotation schedules, or wasted investment. Buy it once, store it properly, and it serves your family for decades. The storage of honey is remarkably simple. Keep it in sealed containers at room temperature away from direct sunlight. Glass jars work perfectly. Food-grade plastic is acceptable. Honey may crystallize over time, becoming thick and grainy, but this is not spoilage. Simply place the container in warm water, and it returns to liquid form without losing any properties. That is the only maintenance honey ever requires. Honey also has significant barter value during crisis. People crave sweetness, and they will trade valuable items for honey when sugar is unavailable and artificial sweeteners provide no nutrition or comfort. This gives you negotiating power and the ability to acquire supplies you might have missed without depleting your core stockpile. Honey becomes currency when paper money loses meaning. Calculate your family's needs carefully. For both food and medicine, plan at least 1 to 2 kilograms of honey per family member for 30 days. This provides daily energy supplementation, medicinal reserves for injuries and illness, and psychological comfort through sustained crisis. At current prices, quality raw honey costs between $10 and $20 per kilogram. For under $100, you can secure a month's supply of eternal survival food and medicine for your entire family, but you must buy pure raw honey. Cheap honey often contains corn syrup or other additives that reduce medicinal properties and may spoil. Read labels carefully, buy from trusted sources, and store it immediately in your survival stockpile. Honey is not just food. It is medicine, energy, comfort, and security, all in one miraculous substance that nature created specifically for human survival. Number 3. Sal. Most people preparing for crisis focus on calories. They stockpile rice and beans and think they are ready. But they are making a fatal mistake that has killed countless people throughout history. They forget salt. This is not dramatic exaggeration. This is biological fact. Your body cannot survive without salt. Every nerve impulse in your brain, every heartbeat, every muscle contraction, every cellular function depends on sodium and chloride. Without adequate salt, your body begins shutting down within days. You experience weakness, confusion, muscle cramps, and nausea. Continue without salt, and you face seizures, organ failure, and death. Salt is not seasoning. Salt is survival. And throughout human history, civilizations that controlled salt controlled power itself. Ancient Rome paid soldiers in salt. That is where the word salary comes from. Wars were fought over salt mines. Trade routes were established to move salt across continents. Cities rose at salt sources and fell when those sources were lost. Why? Because every human who has ever lived needed salt to survive, and natural sources are limited. Your ancestors understood what modern society has forgotten. Salt is precious beyond measure. Right now, today, you can walk into any store and buy a container of salt for $2. This will not last. During crisis, when supply chains break and stores empty, salt becomes one of the first items to disappear. People who understand survival grab salt immediately because they know what happens without it. Beyond keeping you alive, salt multiplies the value of your entire food stockpile through preservation. Before refrigeration existed, salt was the only way to preserve meat and fish for months or years. Salt-cured meat sustained sailors on months-long voyages. Salt-packed fish fed communities through brutal winters when nothing fresh could be found. Salt-preserved vegetables provided vitamins when gardens were frozen solid. This ancient technology still works today. During grid-down scenarios when electricity fails and refrigerators stop working, salt preservation becomes your lifeline. Any meat you hunt, any fish you catch, any excess vegetables from a garden can be preserved with salt, dramatically extending your food supply beyond the initial 30-day stockpile. The transformation salt brings to survival food cannot be overstated. Rice and beans without salt are bland, depressing, and difficult to eat day after day. Add salt, and suddenly you have food that tastes like food. This psychological element is survival critical. When families face prolonged crisis, morale determines who survives and who gives up. Depression, anxiety, and hopelessness kill as surely as starvation. Food that tastes good, that provides comfort and satisfaction, keeps spirits high and families unified. Salt does this. It turns survival rations into meals. It makes difficult times slightly more bearable. And in the darkness of crisis, anything that provides comfort and normalcy becomes invaluable. Salt also offers different varieties with different benefits. Iodized table salt prevents thyroid problems, which becomes serious when diet diversity decreases and natural iodine sources disappear. Your thyroid regulates metabolism, energy, and hormone production. Without iodine, you develop goiter, fatigue, weight gain, depression, and cognitive problems. During crisis, these conditions can be fatal because medical treatment is unavailable. Simple iodized salt prevents this completely. Sea salt and Himalayan pink salt contain trace minerals that support overall health, but they lack iodine. The smart strategy is stockpiling both types. Use iodized salt for health, use sea salt for preservation and cooking variety. The storage of salt is remarkably simple. Salt never spoils. It is a mineral, not an organic material, so bacteria cannot grow on it. Salt from ancient seas, millions of years old, is still perfectly usable. Your only concern is keeping it dry. Moisture makes salt clump and harden, though it remains safe to eat. Store salt in airtight containers, food-grade buckets, or even its original packaging inside sealed bags. Keep it away from humidity, and your salt will last literally forever. For minimal cost and storage space, you can secure a resource that becomes worth its weight in gold during crisis. Calculate your needs carefully. For consumption alone, each person needs about 3 to 5 grams of salt per day, roughly 1 teaspoon. For a family of 4 over 30 days, that is just 1 pound of salt for health maintenance. But for food preservation, cooking, and barter, you need significantly more. Stock at least 10 to 20 pounds per family member. At current prices, this costs less than $50 for a year's supply. But during crisis, people have traded gold jewelry for small amounts of salt. The value ratio reverses completely when survival is on the line. Do not overlook this critical essential. Buy salt today in bulk quantities. Get iodized table salt for health. Get coarse salt for preservation. Store it properly in dry, sealed containers. Secure your family's health, food preservation capability, and trade value all in one incredibly affordable investment. Salt is survival. Never forget it. Number 4, cooking oil. Here is a truth most people do not understand until it is too late. You can eat rice and beans every single day, consume thousands of calories, and still feel like you are starving. Your body will be weak. Your skin will crack and bleed. Your brain will struggle to focus. You will feel cold, even in warm weather. This is what fat deficiency does to the human body. And this is why cooking oil is absolutely essential in any survival stockpile. Fat is not the enemy. Fat is concentrated survival energy. Every gram of fat provides 9 calories compared to only 4 calories from carbohydrates or protein. When food is scarce and you are rationing carefully, fat allows you to get more energy from less food. This is basic survival mathematics that could save your life. Your body requires fat for functions most people never think about. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat-soluble, meaning your body cannot absorb them without dietary fat. You could have these vitamins available in your food, but without fat, they pass straight through your system unused. Vitamin A keeps your vision working and immune system strong. Vitamin D regulates calcium and keeps bones from breaking. Vitamin E protects cells from damage. Vitamin K controls blood clotting and prevents you from bleeding out from minor injuries. During crisis, when medical care is limited or non-existent, vitamin deficiencies turn manageable problems into life-threatening emergencies. Cooking oil prevents this completely by enabling your body to use the vitamins already present in your food. Fat also produces hormones that regulate everything from mood to reproduction to stress response. Without adequate fat, women stop menstruating. Men experience testosterone drops. Everyone becomes irritable, depressed, and unable to handle stress effectively. When you are facing a crisis that demands mental toughness and emotional stability, fat deficiency sabotages you from the inside. And here is the cruelest part. You can eat constantly and still feel hungry without fat. Fat creates satiety, that feeling of fullness and satisfaction after a meal. Rice and beans alone leave you feeling empty an hour later. Add a tablespoon of oil to that same meal, and suddenly you feel satisfied for hours. This is not luxury. This is survival efficiency. Fat makes limited food supplies last longer by reducing hunger and the psychological stress of constant deprivation. Choosing the right cooking oil for storage is critical. Not all oils last equally. Vegetable oil, when stored properly in sealed containers away from light and heat, can last 1 to 2 years. Coconut oil, especially refined coconut oil, lasts 2 to 3 years and remains solid at room temperature, making it excellent for storage. Olive oil lasts about 2 years in optimal conditions. The key is buying oil with the longest possible shelf life and storing it in cool, dark locations in airtight containers. Glass or food-grade plastic works well. Avoid clear containers that let light degrade the oil. And always buy more than you think you need, because oil becomes nearly impossible to find during crisis. The practical applications of cooking oil extend far beyond nutrition. Oil is your cooking medium when you need to fry, saute, or prevent food from sticking to pans. Without modern non-stick cookware and unlimited replacement pans, oil becomes essential for basic meal preparation. Oil also serves as lamp fuel in emergency oil lamps, providing light when electricity fails and batteries run out. Throughout history, from ancient times through the pre-electric era, oil lamps were the primary lighting source for humanity. This technology still works, and a small amount of oil can provide hours of light for reading, cooking, or maintaining sanity during long, dark nights. Oil has medical and practical uses that multiply its survival value. It soothes burns, moisturizes cracked skin that can become infected, removes splinters, and even serves as a base for homemade salves and ointments. When commercial medical supplies run out, these traditional remedies become your healthcare system. Oil is also valuable for barter and trade. People desperate for calories, light, or medical solutions will trade other supplies for oil. This gives you negotiating power and the ability to acquire items you might have overlooked without depleting your core food stockpile. Calculate your family's needs realistically. Each person requires approximately 2 tablespoons of oil per day for adequate fat intake. That equals roughly 1 liter per person per month. For a family of 4 over 30 days, you need at least 4 liters of oil for consumption alone. Add additional quantities for cooking, preservation, light, and emergency uses. And you should stockpile 6 to 8 liters per family member. This costs between $30 and $60 at current prices, but becomes priceless when stores are empty and your body is screaming for fat it cannot get anywhere else. By cooking oil now, in the largest quantities available, choose oils with longest shelf life. Store them properly in cool, dark, sealed conditions. Rotate your stock by using older bottles first and replacing them with fresh supplies. And understand that this simple, affordable liquid is actually concentrated survival energy that keeps your body functioning, your mind clear, and your family fed when everything else has failed. Do not wait. Secure your oil today. Number 5. Dried beans. You can survive on rice alone for a while, but your body will start breaking down. Your muscles will weaken. Your immune system will fail. Your mind will become foggy and slow. This is what happens when you lack protein, and this is why dried beans are absolutely non-negotiable in any survival stockpile. Protein is not optional. It is the building block of every cell in your body. It repairs tissue, builds muscle, produces enzymes and hormones, and keeps your immune system functioning when you need it most. During a crisis, when stress is high and medical care might be unavailable, protein deficiency can turn a survivable situation into a fatal one. Dried beans are your answer, and they might just be the most underestimated survival food on the planet. Beans are pure survival genius, packaged by nature itself. A single cup of cooked beans provides 15 grams of protein, along with fiber, iron, magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins. This is not empty calories. This is complete nutrition that keeps your body functioning at the level you need to survive and protect your family. But here's where beans become truly extraordinary. When you combine beans with rice, something remarkable happens at the molecular level. Rice contains certain amino acids that beans lack. Beans contain amino acids that rice lacks. Together, they form a complete protein profile that matches the quality of meat, eggs, or dairy. This is not modern nutrition science. This is ancient wisdom that cultures around the world discovered independently. Latin America combined beans and rice. Asia paired soybeans with rice. The Middle East mixed lentils with grains. Every surviving civilization learned this secret because it works. The historical proof is everywhere. During World War II, when meat was rationed and fresh food was scarce, families survived on beans. During the Great Depression, when millions lost everything, beans kept them alive. In modern crisis zones, from war-torn regions to economically collapsed nations, beans remain the reliable protein source when everything else disappears. There are documented cases of beans being used as currency during hyperinflation because their value as food made them more trustworthy than paper money. This is the reality of beans. They are not just food. They're survival currency, nutritional insurance, and the protein that keeps your family strong when weakness means danger. The variety of beans gives you options that prevent food fatigue. Black beans have a rich, hearty flavor. Pinto beans are creamy and versatile. Kidney beans are robust and filling. Lentils cook faster than any other bean and require no soaking. Navy beans are mild and stretch soups beautifully. This variety matters over 30 days of crisis eating. You can rotate between different beans, create different flavors and textures, and maintain morale through dietary diversity. And like rice, dried beans have an exceptional shelf life. Stored properly in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, beans remain viable for 25 to 30 years. The investment you make today protects your family for decades. Let us talk about practical preparation because this matters during crisis. Dried beans require soaking and cooking, which takes time and fuel. But there are methods that minimize both. Quick soak methods reduce soaking time to 1 hour. Pressure cooking reduces cook time significantly. And once you learn these techniques before crisis hits, they become second nature. The key is practicing now, while you have time and resources, so you are not learning during an emergency when every mistake costs precious food and fuel. The math is simple and urgent. Each person needs approximately 60 grams of protein per day for optimal health. Beans provide about 15 grams per cup. That means each person needs roughly 4 cups of cooked beans per day, which comes from about 1.5 cups of dried beans. For a family of 4 over 30 days, you need approximately 45 pounds of dried beans. Right now, you can buy a 25-pound bag of beans for $20 to $30. For less than the cost of a single grocery trip, you can secure a month's worth of protein for your entire family. Beans disappear during panic buying just as fast as rice. People realize stores are not restocking, beans vanish within hours. Do not wait for that moment. Buy multiple varieties today. Store them in food-grade buckets with tight sealing lids and oxygen absorbers. Label them clearly with contents and date. Rotate your stock by using and replacing regularly. And most importantly, practice cooking them now. Learn what your family enjoys. Experiment with seasonings. Master the preparation methods. Because when crisis comes, you will not have the luxury of trial and error. You will need to feed your family efficiently, nutritiously, and confidently. Beans give you that power. They are affordable today, but priceless tomorrow. Number 6. Rice is not just food. It is the foundation of human civilization itself. For over 10,000 years, rice has fed more people than any other crop on this planet. Empires rose and fell with rice harvests. Armies marched on rice rations, and families survived brutal winters, wars, and famines because they had rice stored away. And today, right now, rice remains the single most important survival food you can stockpile. When everything else runs out, when store shelves are stripped bare, when supply chains collapse completely, rice will keep you alive. This is not opinion. This is a historical fact backed by thousands of years of human survival. The nutritional power of rice is undeniable. Every cup of cooked white rice provides around 200 calories of pure, clean energy. These are carbohydrates that your body converts directly into fuel, keeping you moving, thinking, functioning when physical and mental energy become survival necessities. During crisis situations, when you might be working harder than ever to secure your home, gather resources, or simply endure stress, your body burns through calories at an accelerated rate. Rice provides that energy efficiently and reliably. It is calorie-dense, meaning you get maximum energy from minimal weight and storage space. When you are calculating survival supplies, this matters enormously. But the real genius of rice lies in its shelf life. Properly stored white rice can last 30 years or longer without losing nutritional value. Think about that for a moment. You can buy rice today, store it correctly, and it will still be perfectly edible 3 decades from now. This makes rice not just food, but a long-term investment in your family's security. Unlike canned goods that expire in a few years, unlike freeze-dried meals that cost a fortune, rice is affordable, accessible, and virtually immortal when stored properly. All you need are food-grade buckets, oxygen absorbers to remove air from the container, and proper sealing. Keep those buckets in a cool, dry place away from sunlight, and you have created a food supply that will outlast most disasters, economic collapses, and supply chain failures. The versatility of rice cannot be overstated. You can boil it with just water and salt. You can fry it with a small amount of oil. You can mix it with beans, vegetables, or any protein source. Rice absorbs flavors, stretches meals, and provides the base for countless dishes across every culture on Earth. This matters psychologically as much as nutritionally. During prolonged crisis situations, food monotony destroys morale. People become depressed, anxious, and unmotivated when eating the same bland meal every single day. But rice is a canvas. With just a few additional ingredients, you can create variety, comfort, and even joy in the darkest times. This psychological component of survival is often overlooked, but it is critical. A family that eats satisfying meals stays strong, hopeful, and united. The economic reality makes rice even more essential. Right now, today, you can walk into almost any store and buy a 20-pound bag of rice for less than $20. That is 100 servings of staple food for the cost of 2 restaurant meals. The return on investment is staggering. This will not last forever. Food inflation is accelerating. Supply disruptions are increasing. Recent years have shown us repeatedly how quickly panic buying can empty shelves overnight. Rice disappears faster in crisis because everyone knows its value. The people who prepare early get the rice. The people who wait get empty shelves and regret. Do not be the person standing in an empty store wishing you had acted sooner. Calculate your family's needs right now. Typical adult needs about half a cup of dry rice per day for adequate calories. Multiply that by the number of people in your household, then multiply by 30 days. That is your minimum stockpile target. Buy in bulk, store it properly in sealed food-grade containers with oxygen absorbers, and you have just secured the foundation of your family's survival. Rice is not just food. It is security. It is insurance. It is the difference between hunger and survival when everything else fails. The shelves will go empty. The supply chains will break. The crisis will come. Your family will not go hungry because you acted today. Rice provides your foundation. Beans deliver your protein. Salt preserves your health and food. Oil fuels your body and extends your supplies. Honey heals and comforts. Oats complete your nutrition. These 6 foods together form an unbreakable survival system that has sustained humanity through every disaster, war, and collapse in history. Hope is not a strategy. Wishing is not preparation. Only action protects your family. Calculate your needs right now. Buy these 6 essentials in bulk today. Store them properly. And create the security and peace of mind that comes from knowing that no matter what happens tomorrow, your family will survive. The time to prepare is not tomorrow. The time is now, before the stores go empty and regret replaces opportunity.